What's going on, guys? Today we are talking about DLOG M. And if you're new to this channel, if this is your first video you've been watching, my name is Hermosillo, and I'm a vlogger that absolutely loves the Osmo Pocket 3 and thinks it's the easiest camera to use when using it auto. So I preach auto. For those that have been watching my video, you guys obviously know that I'm team auto all the way, and I still stand by that 100%. But I want to clarify something because I feel like maybe it might have been a little confusing, and as I'm learning how to communicate with you guys in my videos and I get more confident every video that I make, I want to make sure that there isn't like a misunderstanding. Now, I do not hate DLOG M. What I'm saying is that it does take a lot more work, and for me as a vlogger, and to keep up with the consistency of posting videos in my workflow, shooting in auto and normal color profile to me has been the easiest and makes me want to make more videos, because it just takes one other little step I have to do in terms of like color grading, converting this image and trying to make it look the way I want it to. Now, if you are in a situation like this where I'm at right now, by the way, we are shooting on DLOG right now. We're in full auto. The only thing I changed is DLOG M. So when you're in a situation like this where you're talking, lighting is pretty consistent right now. I am by a window. I don't use any artificial lighting or anything for any of my videos. Just practicals and whatever's around, that's the light that I use. But the thing here is that when you have DLOG, I've noticed it looks good when you have a controlled situation or a consistent lighting situation. For example, if I was to go on a walk right now and I'm shooting in DLOG, I think it would do pretty well because it is a evenly cloudy day. The sun is out. It's like a nice diffuse softbox, and I'm just going to be walking around the same lighting. I don't think there's going to be a lot of fluctuation in lighting for my vlog. But if I was going in and out of stores or in my house and out, that's where I'll see some of the struggle happens. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've done quite a bit of tests on DLOG. I've tried semi-auto, and what I mean by semi-auto is having the motion blur with the shutter speed, ND filters, auto white balance. I've done manual white balance. I've done underexposing, overexposing. I've done, using the DJI LUT to convert it. I've also used phantom LUTs, which are my favorite. That's what I use for my professional work with my Sonys. So I did get the phantom LUT for DLOG M. And I think it looks way better than the DJI one. There's nothing wrong with the DJI one. I just like the soft contrast curve that the Phantom LUTs give to the DLOG M. But to me, from using DLOG in auto, I feel like I don't know if the computer on this thing or the whatever judges how to expose the photo sometimes it's a little wonky for me. I've been in situations where, for example, I'll go like from outside to inside my car, and all of a sudden I am like really dark because it's exposing for outside, and it just doesn't expose for me. When I'm in normal color mode in full auto, I go in my car and I'm still like exposed correctly, like the camera exposes for me correctly, and I still get a little bit of the outside, which to me, it's the perfect balance. And especially in backlit situations, I don't know why this happens on DLOG, but I've had it happen. So today we're on full DLOG. I'm gonna take you guys with me today. I have to run a few little errands, stop by the bank, deposit some checks and stuff like that. So we're gonna vlog all day today. It is another gloomy day, unfortunately. We got a little bit of snow showers, so hopefully not too strong so that I can vlog with this thing going in and out my car. I'm still gonna risk it, guys. I don't want the weather to stop me from this. I know this isn't like fully weatherproof, but I'm willing to put my Osmo Pocket to the test in these kind of conditions, so that way I can report back to you guys and you guys can decide if you want this camera or might maybe opt for like the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera. That one's a little bit more robust, has a wider angle, and a lot of people vlog on that camera too. So there's pros and cons to both. You guys can look up other videos on those things. I don't plan on buying an Action 5 Pro camera. Maybe down the future, I don't know. But it would be for just like certain B-roll shots. Like I thought about like mounting one in my car and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. This is gonna be my main thing. But yeah, right now we're on DLOG M, full auto. But I want to show you guys something before I leave that I've been messing around with that is kind of weird. And this is what is telling me that there are different ways that the camera exposes when you're in auto versus when you're in manual, and also when you're in normal color mode versus DLOG M. And let me show you real quick. Now I am going to change over to my cell phone because obviously I have no way to show you the screen of the Osmo Pocket and show you what I'm talking about. But and the audio is going to change because it's going to go to the cell phone audio. So bear with me, guys. Let me show you real quick here. All right, guys. So here's the thing. We are in, let me double check. We are in normal color profile mode. I now switched it to manual. I'm trying to keep that motion blur. So we're at 50, and then I'm going to switch this to -7 where I usually have it at for when I do auto exposure. Oops, dang it. There you go. When I do auto exposure. Now check this out. Look at my face. Look how dark under my head is, my shadows and everything. And I have the full range, 50 to 6400. But then watch. Oh, okay. When I switch to auto, watch what happens. Look at the details in my face. Boom. I do not, now it might look like it on the camera here, but I actually don't have, like, I have way more information on my face. Everything got lifted up. Like, this is awesome. Like it just, the camera knew exactly the formula to expose me correctly. And here, oh, -7. There you go. And it looks really, really good. Like I can color grade this and I know I'm going to get a really nice image out of it. If I was to try to keep the motion blur here and keep it at -7, it's going to way underexpose things. So it doesn't work the same way. You know, like the camera tends to, when you do the auto shutter exposure evaluation, it tends to use really low ISOs because I don't know why, honestly. If you guys know, maybe let me know in the comments. So I'm thinking that what I need to do is I need to leave this at like, even if I bump this up, let's see if I can bump this up to, yeah, look, even if I get it close to that 200 ISO that was like originally before, let's go to +7. There you go. So look, it's still like not giving me all the information on these shadow parts. Like it's weird. Like my face is like really blown. Like my the highlights on my cheeks are really blown out, even on the Osmo Pocket screen. I know I'm not gonna get an accurate result here for you guys on the iPhone, but like it's just like it's just weird. Like I don't know if Osmo Pocket is using some sort of like dynamic range, like HDR type of exposure when you do have it in full auto versus when you have manual. But even trying to get it as close as I could with that, it doesn't balance the same. Like check this out, back to auto. Look at that. That exposed it perfectly. I got really good lighting over here. I can see more details in my head, in my, you know, face there and everything like that. It just works very well. Like it just, this is why I'm saying to go full auto, because look at this. Like if I go here, now I lost, it just crushed it. And then all of a sudden, like my highlights are all off. Now let me move it back to 0 here. Let me try to like make sure that those highlights aren't fully blown. They still look blown on the screen here on the Osmo Pocket, guys. I'm going to go down to -3 because a lot of people are like, oh, you got to go to -3. But if you go to -3, like, and even when I cranked up the ISO here to 200, I showed you guys earlier to match what it had before, the image is still the same, like right there. So this is -7. This is where I would technically be. But look at that, guys. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but like in the, I know the phone is trying to bring up the information on the screen here for you guys and trying to expose this image. But on the Osmo Pocket, it looks way underexposed. Look at this again. Boom, auto. Oh, look at that. All that detail. My highlights are actually not blown. I don't know if Osmo Pocket is using some sort of like highlight anti-clipping kind of exposure formula, and it's lifting up shadows by itself, but it is working. Even if I do like, yeah, -3, -7, they both look good, guys. This is what is causing me to think like something is not right when you do manual exposure, like the way it handles the ISO. It's just kind of weird. Try it for yourself. Play around with these settings and compare auto and see what the camera is doing with the ISO so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, guys, now that I showed you the settings that I was talking about, we are currently still on DLOG M. We are on the Osmo Pocket. Oh, hold on, let me shift this. We are on the Osmo Pocket lens, just the stock lens, because I want to make sure I get the top quality. I don't want to use any of my lenses in here. In this pocket, I have my wide angle lens from K&F, my ND32 from K&F, and then I have my black Pro Mist here from K&F, which I absolutely love, guys. I can't wait to keep using it, but I don't think I want to use it I don't want to stack anything with the wide angle lens, just because it does degrade the quality. I can just see it, and it just makes things kind of weird. Like, honestly, you should only be putting one stacked thing on this thing. It's just from my own experience. If you like it, go ahead and do what you want. I'm not here to tell you what and what not to do. Like I say in all my other vlogs, make sure you test these things. Whatever you're happy with, then do that, because that's what's going to inspire you guys. All right, so we are going to be on full auto because of what I just showed you guys with that weird exposure thing and all that stuff. Like, I don't want that to be like a difference. I'm going to shoot the exact same way I always do, which is full auto white balance, full auto exposure, meaning I'm going to keep things at -7 like I usually do for normal mode, just to keep the ISOs a little bit lower and not to clip my highlights. I'm also going to keep the shutter speed like just auto, so like the camera's just going to do its thing. And I don't know if I mentioned this already, but we're going to keep everything stock from the camera. I'm not using the wide angle lens, so that way you guys can see the full quality. Noise reduction is set to 0. That's my new thing. I just kind of leave it at 0. I do want it to try to fix noise a little bit in the camera. It's just another step for me to remove away from the post-production. And noise reduction in post-production for me, I have a maxed out M1 Max MacBook, and it handles like red raw files, all my professional like super high codecs, handles them perfect. But for some reason, when I add noise reduction, I know this is true for a lot of people, it does use a lot of heavy processing and it slows down my computer. So I'd rather just do it on here. And then if there's a little bit of noise, it is what it is. I don't think anybody cares, because I've been doing it for a while. Nobody has complained like, oh my gosh, your footage is noisy or whatever. But I can already tell you that the thing about filming in D-Log is that it is a little bit unpleasing. DJI, if you're watching this video, if we can get like a monitoring LUT on here, like, can we just like put normal profile LUT over this, just as a viewing LUT? It's gonna I feel like it's gonna make the experience a little bit better, because this, I can't really judge if I'm clipping. I don't know what's kind of like overexposed. I don't know if my shadows are looking right, because obviously this thing looks like all gray and stuff like that. Yeah, so when I'm looking at the footage right now, it does tend to look like my highlights are a little bit overexposed, but I can't really tell, and I'm like 1.5 feet away from this thing. All right, guys, well, let's go. I got a few errands to run. We're gonna vlog D-Log mode for you guys, full auto, DJI Mic Mini, -12 on the gain, low cut filter off, no noise reduction applied to it, and that's pretty much it, guys. Let's go. Where's my water cup? I need to get some water. By the way, I love these cups. I just feel like the water on this stuff, it just keeps it nice and cold. They're infinitely recyclable. Oh man, oh, my keys. It's always a struggle finding these things. I don't know why I lose them all the time. That's why Apple AirTags for everything, guys. Let's go. It's drizzling a little bit. Let's risk this thing. You can't always be safe. Oh, I'm running. Watch it just break on me. Woo. Got a little bit of drops in it, but that's okay. It's all close. I have a local Ace Hardware store here by my house, but man, Ace Hardware just, they tax their prices, man. It's just like, I'm trying to support the smaller chains and stuff like that, but dang, like the markups are kind of crazy. Let me make sure this microphone is, there you go. It's not covering up. So yeah, guys, I am not against DLOG M. I just know that it takes extra steps, and for me, in order for me to keep up with the vlogs as much in the consistency in the kind of level that I'm up right now, shooting things in auto just streamlines my workflow. It makes it a lot easier, and plus I just showed you the weird exposure things that it's been doing. If you have the Osmo Pocket 3, just try it. Do a couple tests, like put yourself in a controlled situation environment, put it in auto settings. You can see what the camera's using in auto settings, like shutter speed, exposure evaluation, and the ISO. Now take it off of auto mode and set those exact same settings in manual and look at the footage. It's not the same. It's not the same. Like, it's not exposing the same. Like it's like you lose dynamic range by doing that. And this is what makes me think that DJI has just designed their cameras specifically, even this one, and actually even their action cameras, because I just can't see having an action camera that you have to adjust manually. Like, that just doesn't make sense. If you're out there doing sports tricks, mounting it on, you know, snowboards, planes, I don't know, whatever you're doing with it, you're gonna want this thing to, like, you know, auto expose for different situations. You're moving fast, you're doing things. Like, I think DJI just made the cameras to be used easily. Now, do they allow those pro manual settings for people that are gonna get a very specific shot? Maybe you're filming like a movie or a short film or something where, hey, we need these certain settings, this motion blur for this part, and you're only filming that one part. That makes total sense. That's where, for me, that's where kind of like D-Log makes sense, because it's very planned out. But for a vlogger like myself who's out there like this, like today is gloomy, lighting is changing all over the place, I'm going in and out, like shooting D-Log is just, it makes more work. And I know I'm gonna have to play around with the colors in this a little bit more than I do with my normal color profile. But you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you guys think about DLOG M. And you know what? I'm gonna split this maybe we should split this vlog into 2 parts. This whole first part is gonna be DLOG M, and maybe after the hardware store, I'll switch to normal color profile mode. Everything exactly the same, auto white balance, auto exposure, 0 noise reduction, -2 on the sharpness, and you guys can compare. Let me know if you can see the difference, and if you can see the difference, you let me know if it is worth the extra color grading steps, and is the difference even worth it? So I'll let you guys be the judge. For me, the difference, even if it is a little bit better, just a little bit better, like, to me, it's not worth it for me personally. This is just my own opinion, guys. Like, you guys are more than welcome to shoot DLOG M. Don't let me tell you what you can shoot and what not. If DLOG M works for you and you love the way it looks and you cannot unsee the normal color profile to the point where you're just like not paying attention to the information in the vlog, the story, the thing that actually matters, like, then go ahead and shoot DLOG M or whatever. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on DLOG M. Now, I'm gonna try this again. Like I said, like right now, I'm looking at the screen right now, guys. And based on the screen, the outside looks exposed very, very well. And I look way underexposed. Like I can barely see my face on the camera right now. And I have these exact same settings as I do when I shoot in normal color profile mode. So, so you guys, let me know. I won't be able to judge it until I get back home and I edit this video. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to lift up the shadows, lift up all the dark areas. But again, I don't have to do any of that stuff when I shoot in automatic mode. Like I literally just apply my color grade at one click and apply to the whole entire video and I'm done. Okay, look, now the contrast, now the exposure adjusted for like a minute and now I'm going dark again. So those are the things that I don't see happening when I shoot a normal color profile. And I don't know if it's because maybe the computer can really detect what those colors and tonal ranges are or whatever, and it's trying to give you the best image so it exposes it correctly or something. I have no idea. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on how DJI uses the EV. I think it's called exposure values. That's what I think it is. But I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper in that because I feel like it works just a little bit different. We are here at Home Depot, so let's go inside, get some Drano. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Right now, I still look a little bit underexposed. The outside looks great. We're on full auto mode. Let's go shopping. Let's see where this Drano thing is. It's crazy. Like now that I'm an adult, like I actually enjoy coming to Home Depot, except I always tend to leave with more tools than I actually need. You know where I can find Drano, bro?
Drano?
Yeah.
Aisle 10.
All right, thanks.
Or aisle 11.
Aisle 10 or 11. Yeah, that's gonna be on plumbing. So I am gonna tell you guys, the more you vlog, the easier it gets. Literally, people are watching me right now. Even the people that I asked for where the Drano was, they just looked at my camera, looked away, and they were saying some stuff before I left. But you get to the point where you really just don't care anymore. The passion that YouTube and vlogging gives me is way greater than the feeling that somebody else might think I'm weird or crazy for vlogging. Where is this? He said aisle 11 or 10. This is it. All right, guys, we got the Drano. It's still raining outside. Today is kind of a chill day. I'm all caught up in my work and I'm just like laser focused, dude, on YouTube. All right, guys, errands are pretty much done. We just put in this paycheck in the bank and now just gonna get home, continue testing out this DLOG for you guys today. I'm gonna remind you guys again, we are on full auto white balance, auto exposure, sharpness to -2, noise reduction 0, and DLOG M profile. We're going to test out and see how this thing is exposing in auto, because right now I look very dark and I have the same settings that I do with normal color profile. Now, when I do put it to like 0 or -3, just to give it a little bit more light, it tends to like blow everything out for me. Like that was the first test I tried and it was still blowing things out for me. So I was like, okay, well, let me drop it down a little bit more. So that's what we're doing here. Now we're at -7, which, like I said, is exactly what I use on my normal color profile. I know a lot of people swear that it gives you a better image, better highlights and all that stuff, which maybe it's true, but I don't think, to me, I think if you expose the image If you set your parameters correctly in the auto exposure, I think that it does a good job at not clipping your highlights and all that stuff, and underexposing your footage. And it just takes off that work and hassle of trying to do all that extra work, you know? So if you're trying to do like daily vlogs like I am and produce this many videos, you'll start realizing that every little extra step, like, it just adds on more time. And if you start piling that up on a daily basis, I try my best to film 2 to 3 videos every single day if I can. I usually just edit 1.5 in one day. I post one and then I have one ready for the next day. It's just all that stuff to me adds a little bit more to the workflow. I mean, I'm gonna take a little bit more time editing this thing because I don't know how DLOG is gonna take all this colors and everything like that. Like right now, the outside looks exposed perfectly, but I look pretty dark. And I'm gonna show you guys too in post editing. So after we're done with this whole thing, at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you an on-screen, like, let's try to color grade this thing, compare it to normal color profile, so that way you guys can take a look at the footage and you guys can decide what you like or what you prefer. Let me know in the comments. I'm not against either of them. For me, I choose auto and normal color profile. So actually, I'm gonna switch right now because we're about halfway home, so that way you guys can compare DLOG versus M-Log in the same lighting situation. Okay, so let me switch. All right guys, we are now on, the only thing I switched was from DLOG to normal color profile. I can totally see my face now. It looks like the exposure did its thing that I'm talking about, where it just somehow you get more dynamic range or something. I don't know what it's doing, but it works. And when I grade this, it looks really good to me. So normal DLOG, the exposure EV is still the same, -0.7. I'm just letting you guys be the judge. And we're gonna look at this footage and compare it in post. So I'll do like a screen sharing type of tutorial, or not tutorial. I'm gonna do the screen sharing thing where you guys can see my desktop, and we're gonna show you the differences in the grade and just how things react, you know, when I push and pull shadows and stuff like that. So I'm doing these tests for you guys. Hopefully this helps you guys decide. But at the end of the day, guys, don't believe what YouTubers, you know, say, and look for the answers yourself. You know, don't just be a consumer or a follower of somebody and keep doing what they do just because it works for them. You know, it's not that they're lying, it's just that certain things work for some people and not for others. You know, some people absolutely love DLOG and hate the colors of normal color here on the DJI, but I don't. For me, it's the other way around. You know, normal color profile just works best for me. So I'm not here to bash one or the other one. This is, I guess, a perspective from a vlogger point of view. You know, this is somebody that, you've seen my vlogs. I go in and out. I'm in my car. I'm inside the house. I'm in weird lighting situations, and I don't want to think about changing settings all the time. So this is just kind of where I landed. I think we can mess around with the wide angle lens. See, this is the thing. Like, I'm trying to take the ND off of it, and it's all like magnet, and it just like, I just cleaned the ND filter. Now I got fingerprints on it because I cannot get it. Dang it. Hold on. Put this down. NDs. See, it's like on here stuck, so I have to take it all the way out. My fingers don't fit in here. Now I gotta turn it, make sure it's magnetized on there so I don't lose it. All right. Look, this is where I hold the Osmo Pocket, and I'm really comfortable in this part. And I feel like it's just too much of my face. But then we'll, boom, put that on. And look at that. Now you can see all the way out there. My face is a little bit smaller. You're getting a cool wide view, and it just looks really, really awesome. Like, look at that. I'm barely stretching my arm out. Look how much, like, you can get all this. I love wide angle lenses. So if Osmo Pocket can put something like this on number 4, dude, it's over. And I really don't have anything else to ask from DJI except that. I love the design of this thing. The screen is very responsive. Um, you know, they can keep the magnetic stuff because I do like to be able to put like a Pro Mist on there and stuff like that. But yeah, like honestly, like this already looks like it has some sort of like bloom to it, and I think like you can see how the light's kind of like spilling a little bit over here into the blacks. So it already kind of has like this softness to it. But here, let's put the black Pro Mist on top of that. I don't recommend stacking these. Look at how much more bloom that is. So that's that. Let me switch it to DLOG M. Same settings, I'm just switching to DLOG M. All right, guys, now we're on DLOG M, same exact settings and everything. Let's take a look when I add the conversion LUT from DJI, just like how they recommend, and see how this exposes. Right now, I look very dark, very underexposed. We're still in auto mode. I have the same filter on, the Pro Mist with the wide angle K-Nef lens. This is exposed like super awesome. Now I've heard somebody say like, oh, you need to, for DLOG M, you have to put it at -3 or 0. So, you know, I tried -3 and 0 and it just overexposes things for me. So here it is, DLOG M, the EV is at 0, just flat like normal, what the camera is usually at with DLOG M. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I still look underexposed on the image here on the camera, and this looks exposed correctly. I don't know. This is just a flat 0. By the way, again, auto exposure is at 0 for this, just to see if maybe DLOG M needs a little bit more light or something. I don't know, because I just don't get it. Let me stand right here by my door. Let me wait a little bit. Sometimes maybe the camera will pick up my face and the whole background looks exposed correctly. I look super dark. Let me change my settings to, I'm gonna keep everything the same. I'm just gonna change to normal color profile. All right, here we go. We are at flat 0. Usually I have this at -0.7, but the previous DLOG M was at was at 0, so I'm keeping this at 0. But I just want to show you the difference. Look, you can see all the detail in here, and you can still see the background. In this, if I really wanted to be picky and bring it down in post, I can totally do that and be completely fine. But I haven't moved. I haven't moved the Osmo Pocket. I have it in normal color profile, full auto, and this is what I'm getting. I can work with all of this in post and level it out perfectly and not have a problem with it. But DLOG M does this weird thing with auto exposure. Maybe I'm not figuring it out. Please help me if you know what the heck is going on here. But yeah, back to DLOG M. All right, same spot, DLOG M, auto exposure, everything, flat 0 on the EV. Let's go inside. Let's check out this footage on the computer, guys. And let's take a look at this footage, and I'll show you kind of what I've kind of gathered from playing with it. I will say this, guys, I am not a professional colorist. This is how I color grade my stuff. I know in my last color grading I learned my last color grading video. I think sometimes people take it a little too serious. Like, I'm not, if you want to learn all about, you know, layers, vector scope, skin tones, all that crazy stuff, then go look at Quans or some other actual colorist. This is just how I get the look that I get. If you like it, and if you're one of the people that has been asking to show the color grading process or however I do this thing, this is just how I do it. So take it for what it is. If it works for you, it works for you. If you want to become a colorist or something like that, then go get a coloring course somewhere else, or, you know, this is not a colorist channel. So anyways, let's take a look at this footage, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. All right, so we got these clips right here. This is the DLOG M, and this is about the part where, sorry about the weird faces, but this is about the part where I switched from DLOG to normal color in this. So the lighting is the same. I was at a stoplight, so I switched settings real quick. But let me show you. This is using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 DLOG to Rec 709 LUT straight from DJI. So we're going to use that and drag it on there. And It looks pretty decent. I mean, it looks pretty natural. I feel like you know, all the blacks and stuff are like underexposed. Obviously, we could always like bring those back a little bit like that. But let me show you where the color part I have trouble with. Like, I like to mess around with saturation and stuff like that. So when I turn up to saturation here, I'm just gonna go to the extreme so you can see how DLOG is handling these colors versus the normal color profile and why I prefer the normal color profile for my look. There is no really right and wrong here, guys. If you prefer DLOG and what in the colors that you're getting with it, then stick to that, guys. I think they're both great profiles. For me, again, the normal color profile is just easier for my workflow, and I don't have to do too much to it. So, okay, let's crank up this saturation here to, I'm gonna crank it up to, like, I'm just gonna keep going until it gets pretty crazy just to show you how it's handling the color. Like, so let's just go right here. Let's go to 95. But if you can see here, like obviously I went over it, but like especially like on my lips, like that's the thing that I noticed the most is like for some weird reason it looks like I got like lipstick on or something. Like it like my lips just look like very pink. And then this is just one clip, but because I am using auto white balance, obviously the white balance is adjusting all the time and it just messes with the colors kind of weird. If you actually look at the video, you can see my skin on some of the shots through the vlog, like kind of changing from like orange to like normal, and then it just kind of changes a little bit. It's kind of weird how it does that, but you can see I have like this blush or like pinkish kind of look to it. And then also in the dark areas, it just gets these like weird, almost like it almost looks like I got like a cheap like spray tan or one of those like self tanner things. I don't know. It just looks weird, like orangey. And I've heard that before from people saying that the Osmo Pocket D-Log footage is looking a little orangey. So I think this is what you get kind of when you shoot D-Log in a situation like this. It could be also could be the color space. I don't know, but now let's do the same thing. So here's the same lighting situation. This is when I change to normal color, and I'm just gonna grab like this clip right here. Same. I literally had just crossed the. I'm still like in the same spot right here, and as you can see, same settings, auto, everything, just change the color profile. This is already exposed a lot better. Like I can see more detail on here. I don't know how well the screen recording is showing details on here, but I can see a lot more detail in the blacks. The outside is still exposed pretty good. And this, I don't have to drop a Rec 709 LUT because it already has color in it from the color profile. So I'm gonna just crank up the saturation to the same one as I did over here, which was 95. Let's go all the way to 95. Check this out. Like, look at that. Like, I'm using the same at 0, noise reduction at 0, -2 on -2 on sharpness on both, but for some reason the normal color profile tends to look just a little bit smoother for some reason. And also the way it handles the colors for me are just a little bit more forgiving. So look at this. I don't have those red blotches in here. I don't look orangey at all. My lips don't look like this weird pinkish. Let me go back. Look at this. Let me go back to that light where that light kind of got brighter. Like right there. Like look at that same saturation. Uh I will say that the skin does have a lot more texture. Like it looks like my actual skin, but it just the way it handles color, especially when I start getting creative. This is just a simple, like I'm just upping the saturation just to show you how it does handle colors a little bit different. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna put it that high when I'm actually for the finished look. Like if I was to finish this look, I would probably come down to, let me see. I do like color in my photo, and like I feel like I can't, like I'm gonna go down. I'd probably go down to like personally I like it at like right there. 73 looks pretty good to me. Let's up the shadows a little bit. That's the thing too. When I up the shadows on this, I noticed this like gray almost look in the like little dark areas. Um, it could be because I'm pushing it past the shadow limit or whatever. I don't know how DLOG is handling this thing, but um, you have a little bit of wiggle room. And let's see, like maybe I would probably put it like right there. Maybe we can bring up the gain a little bit. Uh, but even like the highlights here, let me make this bigger. Even like the highlights here are there's like these white spots. Like there's like a white spot here, white spot here. Like you guys can tell me if I'm being picky or not. But it just like the way the color, like I see some strong coloring right here. There's blotches of coloring here in my skin. Like I said, my lips are still looking a little bit more pinker than what they are. Um, and that's pretty much, I mean, if you want to add contrast, you can add a little bit of contrast. But that's kind of what I would do. And then if you want to add some diffusion to it, you can use Film Look Creator. I've taught this in my other um, color grade tutorial that some people think it's bad. Some people think that it's a bad color grade tutorial or whatever. I don't care. I'm not saying I'm a colorist. I'm basically just showing you guys, answering your questions. For those that have asked on how I color grade, can you show us how you get these colors? This is how I get them, guys. I'm not like claiming to be a colorist here, but take it for what it is. The I like to add halation, so I just kind of bring that down a little bit. And then if you want to add the bloom, you can. I like it at 100 because it barely does anything. But look at the window up here. Look what this does. So like if you bring it up, you can have it like super bloomy if you want. Like here, you can see the difference. I like to just add like a little bit, like not too much, like maybe like right there. And that's the cool thing about doing it in post is that you can um, gauge the strength of it. Now, I will say this, I still prefer using the actual mist filter and doing it in camera because it just looks more natural, and you do take off some of that digital sharpness, where this method doesn't really take off digital sharpness. It just adds the bloom over the sharpness. I don't really like that. So what I usually do is I add one layer or node, um, and then I go down to lens blur, and I take it down on the radius 2 points, and that takes off a little bit of that digital edge for me. You don't have to do this. If you love your sharp footage and stuff like that, you can totally keep it. Again, guys, this is just my own personal style, how I grade and how I like my footage to look for my videos. This is the cool thing, guys. We're creatives. Do whatever you want. I am sharing my process. I hope this helps you, or if you want to copy it or manipulate it or use it as a base or whatever you want to do, you can totally do that. You're not tied down to my skills or anything like that, or if you even want to call them skills. Um, but that's how I would grade this. So yeah, that's my issue with DLOG. It's the saturation and how it handles it. So here's that. Let's go to the normal color profile. Look, I'm gonna dial it down to. I'm gonna dial it down to. Let's bring this up a little bit to like. See, this one I would have brought up to like 86. It's crazy how different they are, and you would think that the color profile would need less saturation because it already has color, but for some reason it handles the color a lot different. And this is why I think that when you use, this is why I think D-Log is actually some sort of like baked Rec 709 that's just desaturated, and I don't know what other things it has in it. It's because my reason behind thinking this is because when you put um, that conversion LUT or whatever it is, and then you add saturation, it's almost like it's double saturating it, and that's why it's getting hot in certain areas of my skin. That's just my own theory. I'm still playing around with it. If there's anybody out there with a super technical like DLOG M video, and like tests like these, I would like to just kind of see or like hear answers on why this is doing this. This is just kind of from me experimenting. Again, I'm not a professional colorist, but yeah, this one I have to bump up to 86, 20 for my liking. And then the cool thing is, check this out. Like I can go in here and add like like a cooler shadow. I like to do like the kind of like, like I like, look at this. I can actually like pull the color real nice. I can, if I want to bring this down just a little bit, I can up the shadows and maybe even the highlights. Let's turn down that saturation a little bit more, but like, yeah, I can add my own look to it. Like here, before, that's normal color profile. Look, it almost looks like log. And then boom, color grade. There you go. My skin looks pretty even to me. My lips don't look pink. And yeah, look at this. It looks really good. This is what I do for my vlogs. But then DLOG, like, let's go back to that same like area. That's before. That's before. It looks really desaturated and like it's got this, yeah, I don't know what it is. And then that's after. So you can do the same. Let's see, let's add some blue shadows and maybe let's go for like that teal look. There's something with the skin, man. It's like, I don't know, the colors are just off a little bit. I've seen some other people, and I've seen it in other people's videos too, like when they're grading it and then they're like going out and vlogging and they're going through like transitions where lighting is changing. I can see the saturation just like moving all over their face uh, when they film in D-Log, and I can tell right away when it's D-Log. There is a difference in the image, um, like quality. I would say D-Log does look a little less processed. You can see more texture in my skin and stuff like that. Even if you have the same settings on color profile and D-Log, it's like D-Log for some reason doesn't touch texture, or I don't know what it does, but it is a little bit softer in terms of softness and natural. D-Log does look more natural just by looking at it. Uh, Normal color, it is a little bit more processed, but for me, I guess it just ultimately comes down to what you like, because for me, color, I rather have a little bit more color. The sharpness and all that stuff doesn't really matter to me too much. Like I said, I like to use diffusion filters and soften up image colors. But to me, see this this looks really, really good. Let's go to another clip here. Let's try, well, this example right here. Like, watch. Let's convert it with just the LUT from DJI. Okay, it looks it's pretty underexposed. And then this guys is a really bad, there was really bad lighting here. I had my porch light was on, so there was like a bulb that was like 2700K, so it was like shining at my face. So when I go to normal color profile, you are gonna see some like orangey kind of like, or like a orangey hue, reddish hue on my face, because it is that light hitting me. It doesn't have to do anything with like the camera or like the profile. I just wanted to point that out because when you actually get to see my face on the normal color profile, it does have like a orangey hue to it because of that light. I forgot that it was on. Now, usually in this scenario, I would have been at like -7, so that normal color profile would have been a little bit more underexposed. But because I had it at flat 0, we all know that it's gonna overexpose it a little bit, so that was the outcome of this. But I had the same setting on the D-Log, and it just, yeah, I was just super dark on screen on the DJI. I just looked like completely dark. So this is what it looked like on the DJI, and on the screen I couldn't even see my face. Now let's see what it does. Like, let's try to recover that, right? So let's try to like up the shadows and see what happens here. Let me move the, yeah. Let's do this. Like, you guys, I mean, obviously this is probably extreme. We probably don't want to up it too much like that. Like, let's see. I'm not even grading this. I see Like I said, I'm sorry. I don't know if the screen recording is actually like, portraying this, but like here on my screen, like I see like there's like a grayish, um, filmish kind of look on here that it's just kind of weird. Also, this has nothing to do with color grading, but using that wide angle lens, I started realizing that it does do some weird like chromatic aberration on trees and stuff like that. There is some weird uh, artifacts that happen around the edges with that wide angle KNF lens. So I'm gonna do a little bit more playing around with that for you guys. Let's see, let's try to bring up the lift on here. Yeah, no, that's not making it look great. Uh, but again, let's do saturation. Now, usually I do all this stuff. Hold on, guys, here, let me go back. Usually I do this stuff on like a previous layer. We're gonna reset this. I'm gonna bring that LUT. I like to do this on a whole separate layer. But look, if I was gonna try to bring this to life, like let's keep it natural, right? Because I super dark. Let me like change my set. Like, look, I'm even upping the exposure or the saturation on this one barely, and I'm already getting that like weird pinkish kind of look. But obviously that could have been from that light up there. And then like my skin's pretty like saturated, but then like my house is usually like a brighter red color. It's like barely saturated here. So certain colors, it's I don't know, it's kind of weird. I just want to show you guys here what I'm getting at. So here, if you can remember that one, let's look at the now let's go same settings. Let's go to the normal color profile. So like, look at this. This is crazy. Like, well, we'll let it adjust because I think it adjusts. When I switched it, it took some time to adjust. But like this obviously was overexposed because it was at 0. I didn't put the negative 7 on there. But let's see if we can bring this down, bring the highlights down a little bit. There's only so much we're going to be able to recover, but it like I would still what I'm getting. I can work with all of this in post. See, like if this was part of my vlog, and like I would have just left it like right there. I know I would have preferred that over like this one right here. There's just something off about like I know this one's like completely, honestly, is like kind of garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Like the chromatic aberration is pretty bad. This was like a really bad lighting situation, but I just want to show you what this looks like in a situation like this. Like I said, I had right here at the top, I had a light blasting me with, 2700K on the light bulb. And then obviously we have daylight 5600 on the back, or probably like 6000 or something because it was cloudy. So it's like a really high contrast, color contrast or whatever difference in lighting. So I even put it there on text just so you guys can see. But to me, I would have rather taken like this, like this way over. To me, this would have worked better for a vlogging situation. Just to be able to tell the story and you guys can see my face and everything like that, than the D-Log over here. Let's go back to D-Log. So then after that, I went back to D-Log and look at this. Let's put that Rec 709 LUT in there again. Like, it's just like, let's try to recover this. Let's see if we can even match it to the other one. Turn this off. Let's see. Let's try to just recover it. Let's try to lift this up and don't start hating on my color grading. Now don't get all crazy, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to spend hours grading my videos because this is not a colorist channel. This is not like I'm just trying to vlog and share what I've learned. But like even here, it's like I guess actually in this scenario, I guess it looks a little bit more natural. There is like there's like a grayish weird look when I try to recover this. I think I went just too far on it. I want to bring it back. I think, yeah, this looks a little more natural.
Let's go inside. Let's check out this footage on the computer, guys.
Like it just looks weird. It's always weird when you backlight something. I stuck the filter there. That was dumb. Let's see if like I wish I had more so anyways, those were the examples. I'm gonna shoot maybe a couple more vlogs in just like D-Log, so I can play around with the color a little bit more. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's pretty lengthy. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. Sometimes I just have a lot of information and I want to kind of take you guys out on a real life vlog to show you what this D-Log is kind of doing and how you like the color. I went a little extra on the tried my best to fine tune the color with saturation, shadow and highlights in this vlog. I wasn't too happy with it, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of like where I'm at. If you guys have any opinions or have a video where you've tested it out yourself, please share with me. I'm here to grow and I'm just documenting my journey. And share your if you have any thoughts on DLOG M, share them with me. Shoot me a message, leave some leave some info in the comments, good or bad. I'm open to taking criticism. We're all here to learn, so take it easy, guys. Peace.